Hello, good people. This is none other than Ken Kayange, your mental health advocate, and today we are here to talk about signs that you are depressed. So, listen, if you are experiencing these signs, or if you've been witnessing these signs throughout, almost every single day for like 2 weeks consecutively, then possibilities or chances are that you are experiencing a depression. So you need to find help, you need to find somebody to talk to, you need to find a counselor, or you need to find professional help. So let's look at the signs. If you have any two or half of these signs, then it clearly means that you have a depression or you're headed there. So number one is persistent sadness. There, whereas it is really good, okay, for some people to have, for you to have sadness or to experience sadness, but prolonged sadness is a danger. So if you experience sadness for quite some long time, out of the normal, then it means that you have a depression and you need to find help. So there are people who experience, it is normal to experience sadness when you lose something you really treasure or something you really love, and for you to overcome that, it goes overboard, and you begin to feel that the sadness is becoming out of hand and it is being prolonged. Then clearly you need to find help. So number two is the feeling of hopelessness. So there are people who begin to experience hopelessness in life. Probably you begin to feel like there is not going to be any better tomorrow, or the next hour is not going to become any better than what you're feeling at this hour. And you feel like, life is coming to an end and it's coming to a stop. So clearly there's a problem and you need to find help. Number three is the feeling of guilt, worthlessness, and helplessness. So there are people who experience a lot of guilt that is so overwhelming that they cannot control. So they beat themselves so hard that they do not know what else they can do. So they self-blame, they self-condemn, they self-beat, and it becomes so overwhelming for them. Then they begin to feel like they are worthless, their life is not amounting to anything, they are not worth anything good. So then they are so helpless, they don't think they can find help from anybody, or they don't think they can help themselves. Probably you could be having a challenge and you need to find help. So sign number four is loss of interest in the things you treasured. So there are people who really loved to play football, or you loved to play, to watch movies, or you loved to go out partying, you loved to meet new friends, you loved to go out, going for church. But this time around you feel like you don't want to do any of those things. So you begin to lose interest in them and you choose to draw back. That's a sign that you are having a problem and probably you need to find help. Sign number five is decreased energy, excessive fatigue, and the feeling of low. There are people who begin to become, so fatigued. You begin to lose a lot of energy and you begin to feel like your day is a lazy day, and you have done nothing that can really amount to your body losing a lot of energy. So then you begin to become so lazy. There's nothing you cannot do. You cannot even push a chair, you cannot even go out and shower, you cannot even prepare a meal for yourself. You feel so lazy and you just want to be spend the whole day sleeping. So probably you are experiencing a challenge. All right, cool. As we move on, point number six, or sign number six, that you could be experiencing or headed into a danger zone as far as depression is concerned, is difficult in concentrating and remembering special or important things. So if you begin to realize that you have a problem in concentrating, you have a meeting and you cannot concentrate in class, you cannot concentrate in church, or you cannot concentrate in any discussion that you're having with either your friends or family members, then probably you are having a problem. Then you begin to forget the most small things that you can even imagine. You begin to forget that you are cooking, or you had placed a cup of tea on the stove. You forget that you had placed some water in the bathroom, you need to take a shower, or you had put a meal on the table you needed to eat. Remembering the small things, then that's a problem. There are people who even forget that they had placed a 500 shillings note in their jacket, and they forget about it completely, or they forget that they had a meeting the next day. So probably if you experience that kind of things, you want to find professional help and try to share out whatever you are experiencing. All right, cool. Sign number 7 is change in your sleep system. All right, so there are people who begin to experience a lot of sleep. You want to sleep the whole night and sleep the whole day. There are people who completely lose sleep, so the whole night they will not sleep. They will just spend the whole night trying to think, gazing at the iron sheets, at the roof. They cannot even sleep the whole night. Some people watch movies. Some people just spend the whole night in their beddings, but they cannot sleep. So that's a sign that you have a problem. So it's called insomnia. So insomnia is whereby you experience loss of sleep. So in case you've experienced such kind of things before, or you have somebody who is experiencing that right now, they've been complaining that they cannot sleep, or they oversleep, they want to sleep the whole day and the whole night, then you need to be attentive to them and try to help them out. All right. Sign number 8 is isolation. So for some people, when they begin to feel a change in their mood, because depression is changing the mood, either low or high, there are people who want to separate themselves from the family members, or they want to separate themselves from friends, or they want to separate themselves from people who just care and love them. So they want to unlock themselves inside a room. They want to just be indoors. They want to stay where people are not, or they just want to sit alone, in separated places. So they want to isolate themselves. And the reason why people want to isolate themselves when they are feeling that way is because they feel misunderstood, and that they feel that there is nobody who's going to help, even if they share out whatever they are feeling. And they also begin to blame people for how they are feeling. Probably if it is a financial need that caused them to fall into depression or feel that way, they'll begin to feel like it is people who did not support me fully, or they did not understand me fully, or when I needed help they did not come through for me, and that is why I am like I am. So that is why they begin to isolate themselves. They also isolate themselves because they feel like nobody cares. So nobody is going to help me, nobody is going to turn up for me, so it's better I stay alone. So that is the reason why they isolate. So if you had a friend who just started isolating themselves, they lock themselves up in a room the whole day, they lock themselves up in a house, they don't want to come out the whole day, and it is persistent for like 2 weeks, and it happens almost on a daily basis, then you must watch out on that. And if it's you, then you also need to take a step and just try to speak up or find help. Sign number 9, as we finish up, sign number 9 is physical aches, pains and headaches. So people begin to experience physical difficulties. You experience pain in your flesh, joints, and you probably do not understand, because you've not done anything that has caused any physical pain to your body. So you begin to feel pain in your flesh. That's a sign that you could be having a problem. Last but not least, sign number 10 is thoughts of death or suicidal attempts. So people who are into depression, or if you begin to experience thoughts of suicide, then probably you're getting into a danger zone, or you are into a danger zone and you need help. So people who are into depression begin to think that death is the most appropriate escape room for them. So they want to die and live the life they are suffering from. So it is one way of escaping from the difficulty they are experiencing. So they feel like death is the best option, or the better option, to run away from what they're experiencing. So they will begin to try and commit suicide. They begin to even talk about death, how death is sweet, how death could be a better thing. They begin to search and fact find about death, or how to kill themselves, or what is the best and most suitable way of killing yourself without feeling pain. You find them even googling, you find them asking friends, or trying to find out what is the best way of them killing themselves or committing suicide. So anytime you have a friend who speaks about death or committing suicide, or that could be you who thinks about committing suicide on every other single time or once in a while, then you need to find help. I'd like you to know that depression is something that can be treated, and you can be helped out. In case you're feeling stuck, you're feeling stuck in a place between a hard rock, and a hard place, you need to just speak up to a friend. You need to find a counselor or a professional. Then they can be, you can find help. It is not impossible. It is not too late. Remember, it is okay not to be okay. It is absolutely okay not to be okay, but it is not okay to remain not to be okay. You can find help, because your mental health matters. Till next time, adios.